and AANP December 23rd. So I passed both of them.
So tell me, how did you prepare? How long were you in the course? What did you do right? What would
So
you have done differently?
So I will tell you upfront, I am currently a family nurse practitioner with about 9 years of internal medicine experience.
Ooh,
And before I joined your class, I graduated back in August. It's a certification, right? And then I
okay.
actually went ahead and took the board, ANCC, at the beginning of October, and I failed it.
Okay.
And then a friend of mine, because I went in there confident because I see most of these patients and I prescribe most of the medications, right? But
Right.
a friend of mine told me about your course and I enrolled, I think it was October 22nd. And then I
Okay.
was with you for about 2 months and about 2 weeks.
Okay. Two
But
months
when
and
I
2 weeks.
Yeah, so but when
Okay.
I started, I took the first test, the pre-diagnostic exam, and I think I scored about 60 or 67, something like
Okay.
that.
So
But
that is the free, or that is this diagnostic test right here?
this one here,
Okay, so it's not the free one. Okay, got it. You score about 60. So I love your story because it really tells the picture that I've been wanting to say to everyone today. This is not an easy task, guys.
yes. So, but what happened was that I did talk to you, on several occasions as we go
Mm-hmm.
through the classes, and I was here for every, Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursdays. So what happened? So I started preparing, and then when I took the diagnostic 1 to 4 on the first trial, I was getting like 82, 83, 84, 85.
Okay,
And this was 2 weeks before my exam. And
right,
then a week before the exam, I started again with, diagnostic 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I was averaging, I think I got 94, 95, 96, 98.
right.
And I listened to the whole lecture and I will tell everybody, I mean, even at work, I mean, my work, I have opportunity to study. So I still go through the handout and everything. But your class was what prepared me for the exam. And I was so confident when I was taking the exam, I was so comfortable and I finished way ahead of time, before my time was up. And then the next day I went back in, I was quiet and calm and I took my ANP. So the content is pretty much the same, even though your class is kind of geared towards ANCC. But once you
Correct.
learn the content and you're sitting in there, it's just pretty much the same,
It flows,
question and
right?
keep
It
going.
flows. But
So I
I
will
think
tell everybody, you don't need anything else. This is enough. If you study, you are going to be fine.
okay. So I think this is actually beautiful because an hour before this class, I was having almost an indigestion because I was answering some emails and people were like, I'm testing 2 weeks. How can I pass the board? And I'm not the one who's going to put people down, but I'm thinking to myself, in 2 weeks may not be to your best interest to test. As you mentioned, so the first time you took the board and you didn't pass, how did you prepare?
Well, so I bought a review questions because I was already
Okay.
practicing. So
Okay.
I in my mind I was like, okay, I think some
I
of these
got
things
it.
are very familiar. So I bought a review question online and I was just doing that question and rationale. That's what I did for about a month, and that
Yeah.
was not enough, obviously, when I went in there. So I didn't pass. And
It was
then
not. It's not enough. It's
yeah,
not
so
enough.
by
It's
the
not enough.
time I finished your program and went back the second time on both exams, it was so easy. To
It
me,
was
I was
so
like, I've
easy.
never taken an exam, so I was so comfortable. Just so when I answer questions, I recognize the question, I recognize the answer. So it seems so easy to me.
Right. So, and that is what the magic is. I actually want to cry right now because you're telling exactly what I've been wanting to say this the whole time along for the students. Because I answered 3 emails today and people like, I'm testing in 2 weeks. What can I do? Well, if you haven't gone through the content, we can try to adjust it. But I feel uneasy because this stuff, it's a lot of mysterious at time, cultural questions, not what you would answer in real practice. And there is a lot of board questions that is not what we do in practice. So it's very difficult, specifically if you are a nurse practitioner, because you are moved by common sense. And sometimes
Mhm.
the answers are not common sense. So unfortunately, right? Uh,
Yes.
so I feel so, I feel so uneasy to tell the students like, look, I wish your best for you. I don't, you can stay with me for 3 months if you want. You can stay with me for 4 months if you want. I'm not charging. I'm not asking you to stay longer so I can make money. There is nothing like that. But each one of you guys are so important that I get anxious when I hear emails. I had 3 emails today, and I get so anxious because I know most likely some of them will pass regardless. But even if I lose one student, it's one too many, and I don't want to do that. So I'd rather take the longer route like you did, 2 months, and preparing you so well that when it comes to the test, it's going to be easy. I promise you it's
Yes,
going to be
yes.
easy.
And that's what
And
I will tell everybody. I know some of you have a time that you want to pass the board, but just prepare yourself. And like I said, I went through the material, I listened to your lecture, I went through the PDF. I mean, this was like every single day for 2.5 months. This is all I was doing, nothing else. Just read, study, listen, read, study. So when I went into the exam, it was so familiar that when I came back, I told my wife, I said, I've never taken an exam so easy because it was that easy for me.
yeah, and what I tell people is that it doesn't really matter too much what tests you take as long as you prepare well. You
Yes,
prepare yourself so well that became impossible not to pass, became unreasonable not to pass. And then it also comes along with feeling confident. As you walked in there, you were not nervous. You felt that you prepared. And preparing is what takes the anxiety away, being
yes.
prepared.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So,
And one
yeah.
other thing I want to tell them also, it's so during the first exam that I failed, I was given the two dump sheet that you have to write on. Well, at the
Mhm.
time, I didn't know what to write on there. I didn't write anything. It was blank. But by the time I went for the second exam, I filled both of them within that 20 minutes. I was able to put everything I need to dump in there within 20 minutes. So I was able,
Yeah,
referencing back and forth to the sheet. So it was so easy. And I'm telling you guys,
right.
if you study this material and listen to the lectures, you will come out and you will be saying the same thing that I'm saying now. It was easy.
Yeah. Well, I, what is your name? KZ? No, it's not KZ.
No, actually, my name is Nicholas. That's my
Nicholas. Okay,
yeah.
Nicholas. So we talked over the emails too, right?
Thank you. And I'm
Yeah.
going to find out how to join your medication class. Is that on your website?
Yes, it's on the website. Or you can send me an email. I can send you a coupon as well. So I'm all about, helping you guys. I think the medication class, it is outstanding, but it is not easy. The board class is a lot easier, but that's where you are now, right? I mean, you've been there. You've been there for 9 years as internal medicine. It is, us as providers, we have this special power where whether we want or not, we influence other people. And knowing your medication is very, very important because it can ruin a life or make it better. So I really think that knowing the medication so intimately, it is the core of your success going forward. So if you spend 8 weeks and really knowing the medication so well, you doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna thrive, and you'll be able to ask for more resources because you're definitely worth it because you know your stuff, right?
Yes. Thank you, Dr.
So
Lopez.
I really appreciate Nicholas. Thanks for stopping by and encouraging everyone else. So I really, really appreciate that. Send
Thank
me an
you.
email, please.
Okay, I will.
Thanks, Nicholas. Bye bye.